In a desolate field, Man-wol, astride her own horse, was transporting a chest of goods. A gust of wind swept through, blowing away the scarf covering her head. The leader of a nearby army regiment picked up the scarf, which had landed on a tree branch. Cut to an evening scene in a remote eatery. The owner, a woman, excitedly greets her only customer in this desolate region. She relentlessly probes Man-wol with questions, making her uncomfortable. Man-wol, exhausted, retorts that the wine is terrible and the woman is too talkative. She then takes the wine jug and pours it over the chest, the resting place for the souls she's killed. Hearing the owner mention a moonlit inn, Man-wol immediately asks for its location and how to get there. But the inn, she learns, is only for the dead. Yet, determined to find a place to console the souls she's wronged, Man-wol is ready to end her own life. She sees the ghosts of the army regiment swirling towards her before dissolving into dust, each soul she's taken. She suddenly realizes that she's become the very demon she hunted, and she's come to this place to pay for her sins. Man-wol senses something approaching from behind and turns to defend herself, only to collide with a large tree. She contemplates her past, both joyous and sorrowful, while the tree swallows her sword and grows even larger. A gust of wind blows through, transforming splinters of wood into the moonlit inn, a haven for wandering souls who have finally found their new owner. Meanwhile, Man-wol, the former owner, carries the chest towards the place where she was supposed to return. A string of glowing fireflies guides her through the night. Cut to the year 1998. Han Hyun-mo sits by the Han River, his face filled with regret. He apologizes for not being able to buy his son a bowl of black bean noodles for his birthday. As he finishes, a passerby drops some money. His father, seeing the opportunity, secretly pockets the money with the intention of buying the noodles for his son. Chan-sung, his son, shakes his head and returns the money to the person who dropped it. Suddenly, a woman carrying a basket of flowers approaches and praises Chan-sung for his handsome features, bombarding him with questions about his birth date. Hyun-mo, concerned, tries to shoo her away, only to be scolded for having a father who must have given him a miserable childhood. The old woman insists on selling him flowers, but Hyun-mo's father declares he can pick his own and promises to earn lots of money to buy his son a birthday present. The scene shifts back to the Han River, where police and others are gathering to recover a woman's body. Her ghost watches as people remove her remains and gazes at the full moon. Cut to the moonlit inn. Man-wol, wearing an elegant dress, gazes at the full moon. Jun Seok, the manager, arrives to report to the director that they will have many guests today and he'll be putting out the sign. Man-wol warns him that her mood isn't good today and to refrain from accepting any guests who have passed away, due to a terrible reason. The manager complies and begins lighting the sign of the moonlit inn. Meanwhile, Hyun-mo, clutching a box of money, runs away, but trips and falls down the stairs. To avoid being caught, he grabs some money and runs into the inn to hide. While tying his shoes, he sees a woman, drenched in water, entering with the receptionist and taking the elevator upstairs. Knowing the layout of the building, Hyun-mo goes up himself, surprised by the inn's grand size. He greets the wet woman, who just got out of the Han River, and then finds a safe place to hide. Jun Seok reminds the receptionist, Hyun-jung, to temporarily put the wet guest in a room. The manager is surprised to see a living person in the inn and demands that the receptionist locate and remove the man immediately, warning that he'll be killed if he encounters the director. Hyun-mo, searching for a hiding spot, becomes greedy upon seeing a vase containing a golden snake. But realizing the danger, he picks it up and then puts it down, knowing this is not the time for it. As he departs, the golden snake statue suddenly moves and follows him. Hyun-mo enters the swimming pool room, awestruck by the vast beach that stretches before him in the realistic imagery. He quickly leaves and checks out the bar and the breathtaking balcony of the hotel. Downstairs, the manager gathers his staff to discuss finding the living person who mistakenly entered the hotel. If the director discovers them, everyone will have to board the bus of reincarnation. Meanwhile, Man-wol realizes the snake is missing and sets out to find the thief. Hyun-mo walks towards a tree that looks dead but has a single blossoming branch. He thinks about his son and picks the flower. Suddenly, a woman approaches and claims to be the owner of the hotel, demanding that he be punished for stealing. Hyun-mo sees his body fading and desperately tells her that he was only trying to pick a flower for his son's birthday and didn't mean any harm. Man-wol is astonished that the withered, dead tree has bloomed. She relents and lets Hyun-mo go, but only on the condition that he delivers his son to her 20 years later. Unwilling to disappear and leave his son alone, Hyun-mo promises to give Chan-sung to her in exchange for his own life. The next morning, Hyun-mo and his son leave the hospital. Hyun-mo is horrified to encounter the funeral of the woman he met at the hotel. Meanwhile, the woman tells the story of how she was killed while on duty as a police officer. She wants to catch the killer before leaving the mortal realm. Seeing that the client on the other side has money, Man-wol agrees to help. The scene shifts to the mayor's award ceremony. Park Jae-ho is surrounded by reporters. Man-wol, carrying a gun, approaches him. Oddly, only the mayor can see her, and he watches in horror as she fires a bullet at him. He doesn't die, but witnesses the ghost of the police officer Lee standing next to him. The mayor is terrified and descends into madness, leaving the surrounding reporters baffled. The next day, at the Moonlit Inn, the manager brings a bag of diamonds left by a guest, causing Man-wol's eyes to light up with the prospect of enjoying champagne. However, Jun Seok gives the director only 2 diamonds, stating that the rest are needed to pay off debts and support the young boy. Man-wol grabs the meager handful of diamonds, promising to reclaim her investment with interest when the boy grows up. Hyun-mo suddenly realizes that he sold his son and immediately sets out to find the woman to repay the debt and revoke his promise. Man-wol, passing by the boy who is standing alone, tells the manager to give Chan-sung a primrose for his birthday, a reminder of the promise. 21 years later, Chan-sung returns to his country after fulfilling his father's promise to leave and avoid bad luck. He believes he's escaped the curse, but his coworker mentions a birthday gift, filling him with dread. Chan-sung trembles, looking at the pot of flowers and the invitation to the Moonlit Inn. He's been haunted for 21 years, and he has to go to this mysterious place. On his way, he reconsiders and throws away the gift. On the train, he is surprised to find only one other passenger, a woman sitting with a pot of flowers. Recognizing the familiar flowers, Chan-sung calmly sits down and asks if she is the person his father always mentioned. Man-wol asks Chan-sung to work at the Moonlit Inn, but he is stubborn. She approaches him and blows something into his eyes. Remembering his father's warning, Chan-sung rushes home to pack and escape this frightening place. As he's leaving, he sees the woman, now blind, and runs away in fear. Man-wol watches Chan-sung flee, amazed at his luck. Seeing that her boy is about to be scared unconscious by a ghost, she intervenes to save him. She uses a ghost to threaten the weak man into taking her out to eat. The mayor, now homeless after being punished by Man-wol, sees her at a restaurant and attempts to seek revenge. Chan-sung, having just returned from shopping, sees Man-wol being stabbed by someone. Realizing that she's given him a chance to escape, he flees and returns to his truck. Man-wol is surprised by his decision and uses her magic to deal with the old man. Chan-sung can't believe his eyes and goes to check for himself, but he's immediately terrified by the pile of ashes left by the old man. Man-wol warns him that ghosts often appear just like humans, and if Chan-sung gets attacked by vengeful spirits, he could lose his life. She tells him to throw away his shoes because they've been soiled by the ashes, and then they go to a shoe store to buy new ones. Man-wol insists on Chan-sung wearing a pair of flashy shoes, but he reluctantly complies because the store is about to close. Outside, Chan-sung firmly refuses to work at the hotel because he's a living person. Man-wol replies that he can offer comfort to the souls who haven't found peace, those who are trapped between life and death. She tells him about the Samdo River, a bridge that leads to the afterlife, and how some souls refuse to cross and return to the mortal realm. Man-wol assures him that he'll be safe near her, and is about to leave when Chan-sung asks if the director's door has been closed already. He wonders if she's also a wandering spirit, trapped in a closed door. Man-wol hesitates for 5 seconds before mentioning the blind ghost that's standing beside him, and then walks away. Meanwhile, 2 women are feeding a stray cat when a young girl named Eunice-eo is drawn to something and wanders off. She sees a tiger and thinks it's a little cat, but it's just a lost spirit creature that only Eunice-eo can see. Back at the moonlit inn, Man-wol notices that the ancient tree hasn't grown any leaves and asks the manager if it's dead. Jun-seok reminds her that the director once said the tree is her second self, and it's still alive, just like her. Suddenly, Man-wol senses a special guest arriving and goes out to greet them personally. This guest is a tiger spirit, but it passes through the entrance without entering. Man-wol scolds Hyun-jung for not doing his job properly. After giving the matter some thought, Chan-sung decides to go to the moonlit inn to discuss matters with the director. He is surprised to learn from the manager that he has been here for 30 years and is the next person in line to take over the position. Even though Man-wol tells him that the hotel helps spirits heal and reincarnate, Chan-sung remains determined to pay his debt and avoid being trapped there. However, as he's leaving, he's frightened by a ghost and immediately returns to confront Man-wol, asking why he's still seeing terrifying things. Man-wol tells him that it's a birthday gift he received, one that he can't return. She then tells her new manager to take her somewhere. Chan-sung reluctantly follows the director to ensure his safety. Man-wol leads him to a garage full of luxury cars, dazzling him with the selection. On the way out, he laughs when Man-wol tells him that they're going to catch a tiger. Meanwhile, the chairman keeps having dreams about the tiger, which wants to kill him. He's so terrified that he falls ill. At a cafe, Chan-sung mentions that he has a master's degree and won't be working at the moonlit inn. Man-wol uses magic to challenge him. If he can get a coffee without spilling a drop, she will let him go. Chan-sung struggles to navigate through the many ghosts and brings her the coffee. Man-wol is furious and storms off. At the hotel, the manager is bidding farewell to everyone before leaving when the director angrily enters. She confronts him, asking how he dared to give Chan-sung a position of power, allowing him to refuse working there. The manager also mentions that he has to go to the hospital for a few days for a checkup and will hand over his work to Chan-sung. The next day, Chan-sung arrives at the company and sees a flyer about the tiger. He's curious and pockets it. While he's at the swimming pool, he gets stuck between a ghost and his boss, so he jumps into the water. Man-wol arrives and sees him soaking wet, having just dodged a spirit. She laughs at him. Seeing the flyer with the tiger, Man-wol suggests they investigate it. Chan-sung hesitates to enter the chairman's house, but is pushed along by Man-wol. Inside, Man-wol goes directly to the bedroom and inquires about a painting of Mount Baekdu, discovering that it was a gift that came along with the tiger. The chairman is heartbroken about the tiger's death, but due to the friendship between their two countries, he couldn't return it to its place of origin. At that moment, all the windows in the room shatter. Later, at a restaurant, Man-wol tells Chan-sung that he can negotiate with the chairman to trade the expensive painting for the tiger's well-being. Chan-sung sees the deal as a scam and refuses, telling Man-wol firmly that he will face spirits and live a normal life. He then leaves. On his way home, he encounters the blind woman and tells her to simply take her glasses off as she wishes, because he's no longer afraid. At Chan-sung's house, Jun-seok is waiting for him. He says he's voluntarily decided to work at the moonlit inn and that if Chan-sung wants, he'll see that it's a worthy place to explore. Jun-seok then goes to the hotel as a guest. The director greets him by the ancient tree, and Jun-seok tells her how happy he was to work there and how he considered her family. He then goes to the Samdo River. Chan-sung also finds the courage to negotiate with the chairman about money to resolve the tiger issue. The scene shifts to Man-wol using the painting to guide the tiger to its desired location. Chan-sung decides to take the blind woman to the moonlit inn to help her heal and find peace. The next day, Chan-sung sends a message to apologize for misunderstanding Man-wol. Later, at work, he feels the presence of a spirit in the armor on display, watching him. In the evening, Chan-sung checks his phone, but Man-wol hasn't replied to his message. Suddenly, he sees the armor wielding a sword, trying to kill him. Before the armor can claim his life, Man-wol arrives, deals with it, and tells him that she's coming to apologize in person. Man-wol stares at the ancient tree, pondering her existence. She's alive but unable to pass on, forever trapped. She's pulled back to her memories of the ancient past, when she led her troops in an ambush and was pursued by a leader. Using her intelligence, she captured the leader as a hostage, sensing the lady's interest in him. While chasing her horse, Man-wol inadvertently falls into a quicksand trap, forcing her to discard her sword and rely on the leader to rescue her. The leader escapes his restraints and vanishes, leaving Man-wol in despair. In a moment of desperation, the leader throws down a rope to pull her up. Playing the hero, he boasts to Man-wol, but her brothers arrive and deal with him. Cut to the present. The former innkeeper approaches Man-wol, revealing that she is bound to the moon tree, trapping her in a cycle of life and death. She accuses Man-wol of clinging to the past and refusing to let go. Man-wol, furious, walks away. The innkeeper states that the boy still harbors resentment and places a moon tree flower on Chan Sung. Suddenly, an image of the medieval woman appears in Chan Sung's dream. Man-wol, seeing him wake up, teases him with the idea of him being a frail, helpless baby, which scares him. The director introduces Chan Sung to the Moonlit Inn, a place rarely visited by the living. Guests who wish to stay at the inn are directed to room 404, but no one has ever checked out. Chan Sung is curious and wants to see the room, but his weak heart won't allow it. Later, they go to the pool, expanding Chan Sung's perspective. On the balcony, Chan Sung declares his intention to stay and explore new things, which makes Man-wol happy. He remembers the woman from his dream and is sure that she's the one. Meanwhile, on the overpass, young Yuna loses her necklace and her friend falls to her death. Terrified, she runs home and is possessed by her friend's spirit. At the inn, the staff tells the director that Chan Sung is too weak for the job. There were 2 previous candidates, but one became an exorcist, and the other escaped to the moon, forcing them to choose Chan Sung. Man-wol pretends to be indifferent, but she secretly remembers each person who worked there. The 3 of them greet the new manager and explain why they're there, each waiting to fulfill their wishes before being reborn. Sun Bai suddenly mentions that the director is bound to the inn as punishment from a woman named Mego. Seo Hee quickly reminds the staff to focus on their work and avoid discussing the director's secrets. Back at home, Chan Sung tells his best friend about his new job at the hotel and mentions room 404, leaving his friend bewildered. He returns to his room and finds a purple flower. He then dreams of Man-wol in medieval clothing, drinking from a moon-emblazoned goblet with another person at the riverside. The man holds Man-wol's hand and writes the word fulfillment, and she smiles happily. Chan Sung wakes up, startled, having just seen this in his dream. The director calls him, wanting to sell the Mount Baekdu painting for billions to buy a new, hot yellow car. Chan Sung is aghast at her money-hungry nature, but is forced to go sell it. On his way, he encounters the 2 girls on the bridge and hears Yuna's spirit crying out for justice. He brings her to the Moonlit Inn. The director is furious that Chan Sung is not doing his job and is instead bringing her more problems. However, when she goes to the girl's house to investigate, Man-wol's eyes light up at the sight of Yuna's parents' vast wealth. Inside the house, Man-wol presents the parents with a choice, and of course, they choose to use money to save their daughter. On the overpass, Chan Sung hears Yuna's spirit talking about her injustice and wanting revenge, but Man-wol has already taken care of it. As Yuna's parents burn the necklace, her spirit disappears without their knowledge. Everything comes at a price, and Yuna is forced to live the rest of her life in the body of her enemy. Later, at the inn, Hyun-jung takes the new manager to the wine cellar and casually mentions the 2 previous candidates who were dismissed. Chan Sung is shocked. He then sees a moon-emblazoned wine bottle, the same one from his dream. Chan Sung begins to investigate the director's past, eventually leading him to the ancient tree. He sees Man-wol arrive there and tells her about his dream, revealing that he saw her past and that she's been waiting for someone. Man-wol is horrified, as she never told him these secrets. Suddenly, Chan Sung touches the ancient tree, causing it to sprout leaves and become vibrant green. Man-wol remembers the old woman, Mego, saying that when the tree sprouts and blooms, time will flow again. Meanwhile, Mego visits a man who has been dead for a long time, but refuses to go to the afterlife because his dog is trapped in the house. Mego helps open the door for the dog to escape and tells the god of death that she has sent someone to assist director Man-wol. Intrigued by Chan Sung's dream, Man-wol pulls him into her bedroom and forces him to dream with her, using a method that's rather brutal. Chan Sung keeps rambling about the man in the dream, giving Man-wol a headache. She puts her hand on his chest, stating that she doesn't feel anything and he's not the one. Because she disturbed the director, Chan Sung is assigned to greet the spirits from now on. When he encounters the first one, he's scared to death. At the bar, he tells Sun Bai that he's ready to face the spirits and won't be startled anymore. However, he almost has a heart attack when he sees a guest with a blood-soaked face. Meanwhile, Man-wol wonders if Chan Sung is the one she's been looking for, remembering the past when the leader rescued her, making her heart flutter. On the subway, Chan Sung dreams of the past, then suddenly sees Mago appear. She reminds him to take care of the ancient tree and gives him a business card so he can contact her at any time. She then disappears, and Chan Sung runs around trying to find her. Later, he sees a dog running after a car carrying people to heaven. He calls out to the dog, and its owner appears. Together, they go to a better place. At a bakery, Chan Sung's friend buys some baked goods, telling him that there's a ghost in the kitchen kneading dough. Before he can finish, Chan Sung spots the blind woman and scolds her, then takes her back to the hotel, leaving his friend terrified to eat the pastries. Chan Sung convinces the director to sign a document changing the schedule, allowing the woman to find the kind-hearted man in her memories. Seeing that Man-wol refuses to sign, Chan Sung takes her hand and writes her name himself. The action reminds Man-wol of her fateful encounter with a similar person in the past. After achieving his goal, he tells her that he'll buy her food and drinks and take care of her. Man-wol, feeling stirred, tells Chan Sung that he doesn't need to work there anymore. He takes the woman to the bakery and she enters his body to find the kind-hearted baker. Chan Sung's friend goes to the bakery, but is shocked to see him being friendly with the male bakers. Chan Sung explains everything and is directed to the second bakery location. The woman also finds the kind-hearted man. Man-wol approaches Chan Sung and demands that he take care of her, leaving him baffled by her ridiculous request. While they're eating together, Chan Sung suddenly remembers that a spirit's memories can be altered, causing them to forget their hatred. At that moment, the woman realizes that the kind-hearted man is the same one who stabbed her and ran away. She becomes a vengeful demon and gets in the man's car. Chan Sung notices this and chases after them, blocking their motorcycle. He convinces the woman that he will make the man pay the ultimate price, and the vengeful spirit forgives him and returns to heaven. Chan Sung realizes the joy of helping spirits find peace and returns to the hotel, where he becomes more attentive to the guests. Meanwhile, the director is holding a board meeting to discuss the healthy tree, which could potentially lead to everyone losing their jobs, and how to dispose of Chan Sung in order to welcome a fourth candidate. Man-wol listens as they say that the new candidate is a body possessed by a powerful spirit. She finds this perfect and agrees to eliminate Chan Sung. When she goes to see him, he suddenly mentions her promise to protect him, leaving her flustered. He assigns Chan Sung to room 13 to take care of a very aggressive guest. Chan Sung is tempted by the demonic spirit, but just as he's about to succumb, Man-wol arrives in time to remind him not to listen or look at it. Chan Sung is captivated by the demon's voice, so Man-wol uses a French-style kiss to help him regain his senses. Man-wol warns Chan Sung that looking at the demon will drive him mad and orders him to run away, never looking back. She can control the vicious demon with just her gaze, but it's reluctant to let the human escape and imitates Man-wol's voice to call Chan Sung back. Man-wol scoffs at her cowardly manager, but is surprised when Chan Sung returns and hugs her protectively. Their brief romantic moment is interrupted by their mutual scolding over allowing the demon to escape. Meanwhile, Hyun-jung meets the fourth candidate. When he helps her from falling, a classmate looks at him with a terrified expression. Hyun-jung introduces himself, explaining that he's not a regular ghost and has a job. He says something to the fourth candidate, leaving her confused. Just then, Hyun-jung receives a message that the acceptance of new candidates is temporarily suspended. He says goodbye to the woman. Yuna, excited to have a new ghost friend, asks for his number to text. At the Moonlit Inn, Man-wol overhears the board's plan to get rid of Chan Sung. She decides to keep the manager, allowing things to unfold naturally. Later, Chan Sung confronts the director about the board's attempt to harm him. Man-wol tells him about her fear that the tree will bloom and cause the inn to crumble. During their argument, Chan Sung mentions the name Yeon-woo from his dream. Man-wol, heartbroken, remembers the man she loved most. Meanwhile, a shaman performs a wedding ceremony for Su-min to find a husband and prevent her loneliness in the afterlife. Since she doesn't want to marry a stranger, she goes to the Moonlit Inn to ask Chan Sung for help. He lets her rest for now and promises to figure things out later. The director, however, is annoyed to see Chan Sung gently carrying Soo Min. Because Soo Min doesn't want to marry a stranger, Chan Sung decides to go with his friend to find the wedding bag, which Sanchez has unwittingly picked up. Sanchez, back at home, opens the red bag and is horrified to see Soo Min's spirit. Man-wol announces to the couple that she wants to hold a ghost wedding for Soo Min. They are impressed by the grandeur of the inn and are willing to pay for everything to make the wedding happen. Man-wol receives a black card and goes shopping without bothering to check on Sanchez's situation. Seeing how blinded by money the director is, Chan Sung goes to the pharmacy to ask for Mago's help. He doesn't find her but is directed by her sisters to bring the spirit of the man from the inn so Soo Min can make a choice. Chan Sung immediately returns to the inn and organizes a matchmaking session for Soo Min, but she only has eyes for him. Man-wol, receiving this bad news, summons the fourth candidate. Chan Sung knows it's dangerous, but he still goes to the wedding. He's shocked to see Man-wol, looking like she wants to devour him. Man-wol scolds him, reminding him that this could kill him, but she decides to save him one last time. Meanwhile, Yu-na goes to the moonlit inn to have a wedding with her lover's spirit. It turns out that his parents held a ghost wedding for her so their son wouldn't be taken away with her. At the crucial moment, Yu-na decides to let her lover live and uses the scissors Mago gave her to cut the red thread of fate. Love is about sacrifice. All that matters is seeing the one you love happy. Outside, Yu-na is mesmerized by the Grand Hotel and decides to become an intern there. At Chan Sung's house, My-ra goes to find him. Later, after seeing Soo Min off, Man-wol tells Chan Sung that he's done a great job and she will be the last one he needs to see off. Chan Sung walks home, lost in thought about the day he'll have to say goodbye to the director. He encounters a ghost and is startled. While guiding the spirit back, the ghost follows Kim Jun-hyun, a famous gourmand known for his massive appetite. Chan Sung realizes this is the same person the director admires and follows him to ask for an autograph. Meanwhile, Man-wol is bored until she sees the earring she lost, recovered by Chan Sung. She's happy and suggests they go eat squid together. Man-wol calls Sanchez and learns that Chan Sung's ex-girlfriend has returned and is having dinner with him. Enraged with jealousy, Man-wol immediately calls Sanchez to ask about the girl, and he keeps saying how beautiful she is. Man-wol goes to see Chan Sung to get to the bottom of things and learns that her idol has arrived. She then goes to the restaurant where Kim Jun-hyun is filming. There, they talk about how the restaurant has been successful from the beginning thanks to the lucky reincarnation of a baby. They also discuss how evil spirits often end up in impoverished homes or become animals. Chan Sung jokes that the hotel director will probably turn into a pig and he'll find her as a piece of meat in a stew. Reminded that she should live a decent life, Man-wol is annoyed and loses her appetite. Chan Sung tells her about the ghost he just met, and Man-wol warns him that they can be very wicked and harmful. Meanwhile, the god of death discovers that the spirit in room 13 has escaped and could harm humans. Cut to a pervert watching a hidden camera feed of female students. A demon possesses the computer and gouges out his eyes. Hyun-jung, meanwhile, goes to school looking for Yu-na, causing her friend to run away in fear. He tells her that he enjoys school and shares some stories about his family. Suddenly, Yu-na's friends challenge her to play the piano to prove she's human. Hyun-jung takes her hand and plays. This action reminds him of his sister. The board is discussing candidates when the tree suddenly shakes violently, as if the director is angry about something. It turns out that Chan Sung plans to sell all the luxury cars and add more rooms to accommodate guests. He tells the director that he returned the black card because he doesn't want her to turn into an animal and that she'll have to tighten her belt to save money for her debts. The board tells him how poor the hotel was in the past and that Man-wol will hate him if she's forced to cut back on spending. Cut to a film set. The actor playing the emperor fails his performance, making it difficult to complete the film. Suddenly, the emperor's spirit appears, causing the actor to faint. The actor then goes to the hotel to rent a room, leading the board to believe he's the real emperor. The director personally welcomes the guest to the VIP room and provides him with the best services, despite Chan Sung's advice against it. After investigating the guest's background, the board is shocked to learn that he's just an actor who played the emperor. Man-wol, embarrassed by her mistake, tells the man that she'll send him off on the bus. Chan Sung approaches the director, saying he knew about this situation all along, but she wasn't listening. To avoid embarrassment, Man-wol explains that her hotel treats every guest like royalty, making Chan Sung surprised. He goes to meet the VIP guest and also reads news that the film is being ruined because the current emperor actor is terrible. Suddenly, Chan Sung gets an idea and goes to the director. He expresses his heartfelt admiration for Man-wol's words and says he wants to help the actor become the emperor he desires. Cut to the board going to a pizza place to pursue their dream. While waiting for the manager to scout the area, Man-wol overhears the emperor actor agree to give up a large sum of money to escape filming. Her eyes light up. She then dresses as the empress and lures the actor to a corner where the emperor's spirit can possess him. The filming goes smoothly, with the crew praising the performance. After negotiating with the actor to take over the emperor role for a large sum of money, Man-wol allows the spirit to stay and work. Once Man-wol has more money, she decides to eat squid and watch the sunset on the west coast with Chan Sung tomorrow. At the pizza place, Chan Sung meets Yu-na to discuss work, then waits for his ex-girlfriend to arrive. Yu-na witnesses their reunion. When his ex-girlfriend arrives, Chan Sung only talks about money before running after Man-wol's idol to get her an autograph. Meanwhile, Man-wol is dressed up, ready for a date, when she hears a rumor about the manager meeting his very beautiful girlfriend. She immediately changes her mood and gives Chan Sung the day off. She tells the staff to make sure the guests leave the beach area and that she wants to be alone. Feeling heartbroken, Man-wol recalls the leader who captured her heart in the past. The beach, even with the changing sunset, is desolate in her eyes. At the restaurant, Yu-na suddenly feels a chill down her spine. It turns out that an evil spirit is following the man and punishes him for secretly filming people. Meanwhile, Chan Sung shows Man-wol the autograph, explaining how embarrassed he was chasing after the gourmand. Chan Sung's sincerity touches Man-wol's heart, and she finds the beach beautiful with him. Back in the past, the leader is gazing at the moon when the lady comes to find him. Man-wol witnesses this scene. Knowing her place, she retreats, but just as she's feeling most disheartened, Chan Sung approaches and says he prefers drinking from a moon-emblazoned goblet. He puts his hand on his heart and says that he seems to have stolen what she desires. Back in the present, Man-wol notices a new bud emerging on the moon tree. Meanwhile, Yu-na, following her intuition, goes to the bathroom and finds the man dead, his eyes a bloody mess. She searches inside but only finds a phone. Suddenly, a woman in black grabs Yu-na by the neck. Just as fate would have it, the god of death arrives and says that Man-wol has allowed Yu-na to live in another body and that Yu-na has never harmed anyone, so the woman releases her. At the moonlit inn, a newly deceased husband sees his wife with his young first love and wants to kill them both. Chan Sung tries to stop them but is shoved to the ground. The director, seeing this, steps in to defuse the situation. After everything is settled, Hyun-jung tells the manager that he's special, which is why the director intervened personally, as something like this has never happened before. While he's feeling touched, Chan Sung sees a yacht order and scolds Man-wol, canceling her multi-billion-dollar order. He returns home and learns that his friend, Sanchez, introduced the yacht and intends to add her to a matchmaking group with rich men. Chan Sung seriously shuts down Sanchez's idea. At school, Yu-na is injured and the woman in black is nearby. Other spirits want to possess her body, causing her to run into a closet in terror, while her classmates watch with suspicion. Just then, Hyun-jung arrives, offering comfort with his gentle voice, and takes her to rest. Meanwhile, the board reports to the director that Yu-na found the phone possessed by the demon. Man-wol enters the room that the demon created and can feel the hatred and desire for revenge against every jerk. While everyone is investigating, the next victim opens a video and is brutally killed. Chan Sung also goes to meet the female demon and learns that the girl was harassed online, with videos of her spread. The culprit paid the girl some money and continued to live a good life. Later, the director and Chan Sung go to meet the last victim, but he's stubborn, so Chan Sung grabs the possessed phone and brings it back to the inn. The board examines the phone, but finds nothing wrong. Chan Sung suddenly remembers that the demon can send videos through the system. He wants to go to the victim's office, but the director stops him, saying that the god Mago will handle it. Just as the demon is about to get revenge, Mago appears, dressed in black, and deals with the demon in a ruthless way. Chan Sung runs over, but all that remains is a pile of ashes, leaving him with a strange pain in his heart. Man-wol stands on the rooftop, seeing off guest number 13. She then decides to invite the victim to the inn to fulfill the spirit's wish, which has now vanished. The pervert receives a letter and throws it away, but the magic enters his system and takes him directly to the moonlit inn. Chan Sung takes him to the same bedroom from the video so he can remember his heinous actions. Seeing him deny his crimes, Man-wol takes him to the middle of the train tracks to make the bastard confess. She then allows Maego to punish him with death. The news of his death and the leaked videos of the secret organization are released. At the hospital, Hyun-jung visits Yuna and sees an old woman calling his name. Hyun-jung becomes emotional and disappears, leaving Yuna bewildered. At the moonlit inn, Seo-hee talks about Hyun-jung's aging sister and how he's about to be taken away. The heartbroken guest gives his wife his blessing to be happy with her first love and then boards the bus to his resting place. The old lady selling flowers meets Chan Sung and praises him for taking care of her tree, making it bloom. Man-wol hears that the pervert hid billions of dollars in a field of flowers and was caught by the police. She's upset that she didn't grab it in time. Chan Sung takes her on a yacht to comfort her. Just then, Chan Sung's ex-girlfriend hears about his date and comes to confront him. Man-wol runs into Myra and realizes that she's the same rival from the past, bringing back her hateful memories. Man-wol remembers the night of her wedding to the man she loved. She sees her beloved in wedding clothes, with a happy smile. Filled with hatred, Man-wol sees her rival's smile and creates a gust of wind to push Myra into the sea. The director says this is why Chan Sung came here and tells him to take care of Myra. Chan Sung is confused. While Chan Sung is with Myra, she asks about Man-wol and says her grandmother gave her a bracelet to protect her from spirits. Meanwhile, Man-wol holds a picture of her enemy happily with her family at an amusement park. She's feeling agitated, and the spirits are dancing, so Man-wol uses her powers to change the music to news. She hears about the death of an old man and then decides to visit his spirit. When she arrives, Man-wol mentions his soon-to-be-born great-grandchild, which causes a pause in the process of sending the man to heaven. The old lady selling flowers also arrives to see the spirit off. Maego directly asks Man-wol if she's trying to stop the spirit from leaving because she wants to see her. She then advises Man-wol to let go of her hatred, because her enemy has forgotten the past. Man-wol says she'll let go of her and leave peacefully, as Maego suggests, and gets in a car to go to the Samdo River. At the hotel, Chan Sung can't find the director and questions the board, but they have no information. Seo-hee tells him that the director can't escape because of a curse tied to the ancient tree, even though she tried to run away. The hotel is where Man-wol is protected, but it's also her prison. Myra finds the necklace, but the picture of her family is missing. Man-wol hears that the manager is panicking over her disappearance and goes to meet him. She confesses to pushing Myra into the sea. Chan Sung doesn't blame her for the bad things she's done and says that the woman he saw in his dreams is just a woman in love. He tells Man-wol that things will be more beautiful when she looks at them with him, and that he'll always be there, melting her heart. Meanwhile, the Japanese woman, Kyung Hwa, appears, scaring Dr. Han into fainting. Later, Chan Sung returns home and is shocked to hear that his ex-girlfriend is moving in. For Myra's safety, he has no choice but to accept it. At the moonlit inn, the director orders the amusement park to reopen, saying that she wants to welcome a special guest. She tells Hyun-jung to provide excellent service. Sun-bai and Seo-hee are looking for new land, but they don't understand why the director is changing the hotel's location. Yuna tells Hyun-jung that people at school are gossiping about her having a boyfriend. She's also following Myra, as per the director's instructions. Myra visits her mentor to seek answers about the strange happenings. Yuna, meanwhile, sees a ghostly figure on the upper floor. Chan Sung tells Sanchez about his amazing hotel job, but says he can't tell anyone about it. He receives a call from Myra, who tells him some guests are coming to the hotel. When Chan Sung arrives, he runs into Yuna and learns that the director ordered her to follow his ex-girlfriend. He gets into a fight with Man-wol about this. Ultimately, Chan Sung uses a whiny tone to get the director into the haunted house. Man-wol, still disliking My-ra, wants to leave. While they're arguing, they hear music from upstairs, forcing the director to deal with the issue. Chan-sung enters the room and is embraced by the ghost, Kyung-hwa, who calls out to someone named Min. Man-wol is annoyed by this intimate gesture. Kyung-hwa keeps calling out different men's names, including a villain. Man-wol stops the music, causing the ghost to vanish. It turns out that she was just a figment of someone's imagination. Just then, the homeowner's mother walks in and explains that she created Kyung-hwa out of her sadness at being forced to marry a man she didn't love. She had forgotten about Kyung-hwa when her firstborn was born. To resolve the ghost issue, she burns the books and letters related to the Phantom Girl. To comfort her, Chan-sung stays for dinner as Min. It's then that he learns that the director invited his ex-girlfriend to the hotel. Meanwhile, My-ra arrives at the hotel and enters a room prepared with an amusement park. Man-wol tricks her enemy into removing the protective bracelet her grandmother gave her. Then, Man-wol uses a curse to make My-ra's childhood miserable. As the young My-ra reaches out to embrace the grown-up My-ra, Chan-sung arrives and stops her. After hearing Man-wol say she has partially vented her past resentment, Chan-sung hugs the cursed girl, confident that the director will protect her. My-ra wakes up with no memory of the events and is taken home by Yuna. Man-wol, having just healed the person she cares for, thinks about the leader from her past who also wanted to protect her. However, their love was blocked by their social standing, leaving Man-wol behind. As her comrades prepare to reach a safe place, Man-wol goes to meet the man she loves one last time, but her rival surrounds them, capturing the woman and killing her comrades. Man-wol, filled with hatred, vows to destroy her enemy. She witnesses the execution of her comrades and learns what she must do when she's given a chance to live by her enemy. On the night of her enemy's wedding, she goes to kill both the past version of My-ra and the leader. Chan-sung wakes up from a bloody dream and realizes he's been asleep for 3 days. He rushes to the hotel, but there's no trace of Man-wol. Chan-sung returns to the hotel, but everything has vanished. He walks outside in a daze, looking around. At the same time, Man-wol is watching him from the building across the street. She sees him holding his phone and assumes he's going to call her, but nothing happens. After watching for a while, Chan-sung puts away his phone and goes to find Man-wol. He reaches the pharmacy, but before he can ask anything, the woman knows he's looking for the Hotel Del Luna. He's surprised she knows everything and wants to ask where the hotel went. She tells him that he has a demonic energy inside him, and if he doesn't deal with it, he'll suffer great damage. Right now, Man-wol is protecting him, so he's fine. Chan-sung thinks if her past is so terrible, then she's already hurt him. He remembers how Man-wol tried to stop him and even praised him, but she left because she found him annoying. The woman gives him a precious elixir, which will prevent him from seeing spirits or the Hotel Del Luna. In short, the elixir can turn a human into a human again, not a god. Chan-sung hesitates to take it right away because he likes Man-wol, even though she's not kind and is a bad person. He also thinks about whether he likes her enough to go back and beg her to accept him. He returns to the hotel and ponders what happened. If he takes the elixir, he won't see ghosts or the Del Luna. Suddenly, a firefly appears and flies by. He realizes it's a spirit and apologizes because the Del Luna is gone. Meanwhile, Kim Sun-bai gives Man-wol a cocktail that guests love. When she tries the drink that he personally made, she wants to throw it out because it doesn't taste right and storms off. Back at the rice wine distillery, the director opens a bottle and takes a sip. He hears something outside and goes to check. He finds the barrels of wine broken and money scattered, but doesn't know who did it. Man-wol wanders through a field of grass with 2 bottles of wine, wanting to find a place to enjoy some snacks. Suddenly, the well spirit appears in front of her. He asks her if the house behind the ancient tree belongs to her. She explains that it's an inn for wandering spirits. Man-wol recognizes the house as her own and thanks the well spirit for taking care of the water source. She tells him that his care is the reason she has good wine to drink. Cut to Chan-sung returning to his room and finding the chairman standing before him. He'd read about the chairman's passing in the news and wanted to apologize for not attending the funeral. The chairman explains that he couldn't stop thinking about the painting, so he came to take a look. He asks if the tiger is here, and Chan Sung tells him the tiger went to the hotel and then to the afterlife. He explains that there's a hotel for the dead, just like him. The chairman is intrigued and wants to try it out. Chan Sung immediately takes him. Man-wol returns to the hotel and reminisces about Chan Sung bringing spirits to the hotel, laughing and having fun. But secretly, she feels vulnerable. She hears the elevator and turns around, surprised to see him. He introduces the deceased chairman to Man-wol, explaining that he'd gone to Chan Sung's house and wanted to see the hotel. Man-wol asks manager Choi to take the guest upstairs. Left alone, she scolds Chan Sung for using his ghost connection to follow her to the hotel. Chan Sung explains that he had a different reason for coming and mentions the painting the chairman left behind. Man-wol recalls telling Chan Sung to sell it at half price. Chan Sung explains he doesn't want to sell it because the chairman would be heartbroken. Man-wol, not wanting to hear anymore, tells him to go home. He's about to leave when he sees someone arriving and goes to greet them. Suddenly, he notices the floor is covered in water and feels something pass through him. Confused, he wonders who that was. Man-wol, talking with the chairman, notices something strange and goes outside to check. She wonders why the floors everywhere are wet. Manager Choi rushes over to report that something that shouldn't be in the hotel has entered. She sees that it's not a human spirit, but a 1,000-year-old spirit, possibly a god. She remembers meeting it yesterday. Chan Sung returns and blames himself for thinking it was just a spirit and letting it in. He doesn't know how to handle this, and Man-wol tells him that once a god is in, he can't be removed. Manager Choi finds the god in the last room on the 8th floor. The god doesn't want anything, he just wants to see the person who opened the door for him. Chan Sung, summoning his courage, goes to open the god's door. He's amazed to find himself in the god's mind. The god tells him he's very scared because he's been abandoned. He's never experienced drought before. There was always fresh, cool water, and it helped them make a lot of money from their wine business. Now he can't fulfill their wishes anymore and has been abandoned, so he's running away. He apologizes for entering a place where he's not welcome, but he has nowhere else to go. He gives Chan Sung a gourd and asks for his help to find a place. Chan Sung throws away the elixir, and Man-wol immediately scolds him for discarding such a valuable thing. She asks him how difficult it was for her to obtain it. She tells him that he's no longer safe and will constantly be in danger. He asks her to follow him. As they argue, the well spirit appears with the elixir. Chan Sung is surprised that the spirit would pick it up in this situation. He doesn't know what to do. Man-wol is overjoyed to get it back and tells him to drink it. Otherwise, he will be attacked by a vengeful spirit and die. Back at the hotel, Man-wol is annoyed that he's following her. He explains that he's only delivering a letter to the chairman, as requested by the client. Manager Choi approaches and asks Man-wol to talk inside. In the room, Yoona and Hyun-jung report that they chased a suspect into the forest and found many people dead. All of them were different, and they saw them both. Manager Choi sees the news report and is surprised that some bodies have been found. It could be a serial murder case. The guests claim they were all killed by the same person. Man-wol believes the killer is still alive and the police will be able to catch him. The only thing they need to do is care for the deceased victims until they see it and can rest in peace. Later that night, a man frantically searches for his wife by phone. As he opens the car door to get in, he notices the trunk is open and goes to check. He's horrified to find a body inside, but when he looks closer, he realizes it's his wife. He's confused, wondering how she ended up like that. Suddenly, the police arrive and arrest the husband, as reported, because there's a body in the car. Jae-won watches the scene from afar, secretly pleased that the blame has been shifted to someone else. However, the ghost of the wife appears from behind, crying and screaming, causing Jae-won to flinch. Meanwhile, the chairman wants to discuss having Chan Sung as a good son-in-law. He wants to use the hotel's special services to call his granddaughter. Man-wol agrees to his request, but after only a few minutes, she's annoyed and cuts off the conversation. She doesn't want Chan Sung to marry anyone. The next day, Chan Sung meets Jae-yoon. She mentions that the chairman appeared in her dream and was happy to receive the photos she sent. Jae-yoon is embarrassed to tell him that the chairman wants him to be her partner. Later, they go to the library to look at paintings. Man-wol and the chairman are watching them, happy to see them together. Man-wol, keeping her promise, leaves and sits in the park. Suddenly, Chan Sung comes and sits beside her. He wants to take her inside to see a beautiful painting. He had sold the painting she abandoned for the chairman's memorial service, and they brought it here. They go to look at books together, but they hear rumors of a ghost there and decide to check it out. Chan Sung tells her that the book has a ghost hand and many people have seen it. They reach the book and want to take a look, but they're afraid that the ghost won't appear because Man-wol is there. She leaves. Chan Sung reaches for the book, and a hand suddenly appears to stop him. The ghost is surprised that he can see it and asks for his help to keep anyone from touching the book. Chan Sung opens it and is surprised to find a picture of himself as a child inside. Man-wol comes over and snatches the book, putting it away. The ghost disappears. Chan Sung is stunned, thinking that the ghost might be his mother. That night, Man-wol returns to the book that the ghost has been guarding to find answers on how to comfort a living son whose time has been completely erased. Suddenly, the ghost appears. Man-wol thinks she's worried that her secret will be exposed, but she assures her that she will comfort her son's sadness. Now she needs her to go to the hotel with her. At the same time, Chan Sung receives a message that Man-wol has been reinstated and that there's a guest he needs to see at the hotel. He arrives at the hotel and greets everyone before going to the 4th floor. Suddenly, he sees his mother there. She's happy to see him and wants to apologize for not fulfilling her responsibilities as a mother. Chan Sung wakes up and is immediately called out by Sanchez, who tells him that Man-wol sent something. She included a thank you note. Chan Sung thinks she might understand his feelings. He happily opens the gift, but is surprised to find a leopard-patterned suit. Sanchez laughs and mocks him, saying it'll make him look very sexy. He doesn't know where Man-wol got the money, but Sanchez reminds him that he helped her sell the expensive horse. Chan Sung is annoyed and goes straight to the hotel. He's met by manager Choi, who informs him that there's an issue with a VIP client who wants to use a special service. A well-known chairman wants to be called back to the mortal world. Chan Sung takes the documents and goes to the director to deal with the situation. He agrees to serve everyone who requests the service. They're serving each guest when a man arrives with his son and asks to call the person who hit his son's car and caused his death. Man-wol immediately refuses, explaining that they can only call relatives. He insists that he only wants to talk to the person, not hold any grudge. She agrees, but feels exhausted after connecting with the mortal world. Seeing this, Chan Sung takes her to a rice cake shop that she's wanted to eat at for a long time. They enjoy the meal together and have a pleasant conversation. Cut to the police station, where they're investigating an organization called Hello. Their website is now a hotbed of hate speech and slander. The culprit has posted defamatory statements about his wife and slandered 6 other victims. Except for Lee Do-yeon, the culprit's wife, all the other victims were killed by someone they'd never met. Yoo-na and Hyun-jung are questioning spirits about the killer's appearance, but without evidence, they can't do anything. Yoo-na comes up with an idea: have each person draw the killer's features as they remember them. Chan Sung returns home and finds bodyguards with tense expressions. They want to take him somewhere. He doesn't know who they are. He's surprised to see the woman from the morning news in front of him. She asks if he's the representative of the Hotel del Luna and wants to meet Director Jang. Young-hee explains that she used to work for her and wants Chan Sung to take her to the hotel. He immediately takes her to meet everyone. She's happy to see Director Jang. The next day, everyone is busy preparing for the lunar eclipse, which will allow them to welcome human guests. Everyone is excited and happy because they see that the hotel is entering normal life. They even have living guests, making it feel like they're alive again. Cut to Sanchez on the phone with Chan Sung, waiting for Veronica to arrive. Meanwhile, she's become a ghost, covered in blood. She sits opposite him, but he doesn't notice and keeps talking with Chan Sung. Suddenly, Sanchez receives a text that she's been in an accident. He's shocked and runs to pack his things to leave immediately. Chan Sung hears about this and goes to find him. He's surprised to see Veronica's spirit behind him and stops Sanchez because it's useless to go now. Seeing that the eclipse is still happening, he wants to take her to the hotel to see her lover one last time. When they arrive, Chan Sung explains that it's a special place where the mortal and spirit realms can connect. Sanchez doesn't believe Veronica could be here, but Chan Sung tells him the devastating news that she's dead. Sanchez is stunned to hear this. Just then, Veronica appears in front of him. She can only say a few final words before the eclipse ends, and she vanishes with it. The woman in black threatens Man-wol, saying that maybe she'd be happier if she died. She warns her that one day, when Man-wol is afraid, her flowers will wither. Man-wol laughs at her, saying her system is inherently cowardly. If it weren't, she would have brought the man to Man-wol right now and ended things clearly. Man-wol promises to make the woman disappear. The woman in black insists that all she needs is to bring Chan Sung to her. She says that even after enduring 1,000 years, she doesn't realize it was all Man-wol's doing. Man-wol has caused Chan Sung to pay a heavy price, and if he stays by her side, what else will he have to suffer? Meanwhile, Chan Sung goes to the bar to find Jae-won. They both ask each other uncomfortable questions, but then he suddenly decides to drink some wine. Jae-won goes to get some for him, but doesn't realize he brought the ghost he killed along to confirm. The ghost attempts to murder Chan Sung. When Jae-won comes back, Chan Sung is gone. The ghost sees the light turn on in the room and grabs a syringe in fear. They fight desperately, neither willing to give up. Back at the hotel, Man-wol is incredibly worried. She keeps calling Chan Sung, but no one answers. She feels something is wrong and goes to find him. Hyun-jung, who is dozing off at the front desk, gets a call. He's shocked to hear Yoo-na crying and saying that Chan Sung is in trouble. She doesn't know what to do if he dies. Man-wol is leaving the lobby when Sun-bai tells her that Chan Sung is dead. She's stunned and doesn't believe it. Suddenly, Chan Sung appears. Everyone is heartbroken and speechless. She goes to comfort him, but when she touches his heart, she turns away and runs to Hyun-jung, wanting to kill him for spreading false information. Chan Sung explains that he was in danger but was rescued by the police. Jae-won wouldn't give up, so she quickly grabbed a bottle of wine and slashed her own neck. He was treated in time at the hospital and is now under police guard. When the detective arrives to check on the perpetrator, he's gone. Chan Sung is driving when he receives a call from the detective. He goes to the hospital and meets the perpetrator on the rooftop. Jae-won blames Chan Sung for the state of her life. The perpetrator doesn't believe in ghosts, but when he hears Chan Sung talking to someone, he's annoyed. He takes the phone he stole and opens the Hello website, then throws Chan Sung into the trash and jumps off the building himself. Back at home, Man-wol sees him sleeping soundly and wants to wake him up. She notices he's tired because he's sleeping on the couch. He explains that the only place at the hotel where people can sleep is room 404. Chan Sung is afraid he'll die if he goes into that room. Man-wol wants him to go with her for acupuncture. They wait at the hospital for their turn, and she mentions their previous agreement. She had the god of death take care of someone for her. He knows that anything she couldn't handle herself must be difficult. But since it's a request from her, how could he refuse? He demands something in return, someone who will cause trouble and a case that will make him ashamed. Suddenly, a nurse calls out that it's Chan Sung's turn. He goes in and shows the doctor the paper Man-wol gave him. He needs money desperately. The doctor examines him and sees that he has a long life and financial path ahead. He immediately offers to buy a centimeter of his life for 50 million won. Man-young tells his wife that he has found someone who will sell him what he needs. He's worried because the person made a promise before and didn't keep it. He's concerned about the money, but if they can solve everything, it will be okay. He also says that his son's surgery is today and he'll be saved. That night, Chan Sung and Man-wol return to the hospital. The doctor appears behind Chan Sung, ready to take him. Man-young's wife is anxiously waiting for her son. Man-wol sits next to her and notices Hyun-jin reading a book. Man-wol sees that the child is intelligent and reveals that Hyun-jin is holding his parents' life in his hand. Chan Sung tells the doctor that he's paid the price, so his son's desire to be heard has been fulfilled. The doctor tells him he never bought anyone's life. It was his own life that he gave. That's why he's aging so quickly. The child will ultimately decide whether he lives or dies. The doctor, in a panic, takes his wife to find their son, but he's already been taken by Man-wol. Manager Choi and Hyun-jung are talking when a guest arrives. Hee-sun is surprised to see her and wants to take her to a room. As they're walking up the stairs, she asks the guest to confirm her identity. Is she from Baemjeon, a granddaughter of the Yoon family, named Yoon Seung Baem? And is she 42 years old and unmarried? Manager Choi hears the confirmation and is thrilled. Later, Sun Bai is holding a bottle of wine when he sees Hee-sun dressed differently than usual. She announces that she'll soon be able to leave. Now, Manager Choi will go to settle his 200-year grudge because the last son of that family has arrived as a guest. The day the family's destruction has finally arrived, and Hee-sun will enjoy their tears and suffering. She stands outside the funeral with a satisfied expression, watching their grief. She'll have no regrets leaving because the family line will end. Suddenly, she notices a pregnant woman approaching and believes that the deceased man is the father of the child. Manager Choi is worried that if the woman's carrying a son, then the Yoon family line will continue. Back at the hotel, she's lost in thought, remembering how she searched for someone, knocking on doors to save her son, but no one opened them. He died in her arms. She sits for a long time, then Chan Sung arrives with tea. Hee-sun turns around and is surprised to see him in a leopard print suit. She finds it strange and tells him to change because the guests will laugh at him until he dies. Cut to Man-wol and Chan Sung investigating the place where the pregnant woman carries the child of the family Hee-sun hates. If the baby hadn't been born, then Hee-sun would have been able to resolve her hatred. They can't do anything, so they return to the hotel and find a beautiful car parked in the wrong spot. Man-wol kicks the car in anger. Suddenly, a woman runs over to apologize. Man-wol is surprised to see the woman in front of her, her own sister Mago. They're both happy to see each other. Chan Sung rushes over to greet her and is told to welcome guests well, especially the first one. Meanwhile, the pregnant woman suddenly feels a stomachache and sees blood at her feet. Seung Bam, who's already dead, sees his girlfriend like this. No one comes to help, so he rushes back to the hotel for help. Manager Choi is just leaving her ghost room when the spirit appears and asks her to help his girlfriend. Hee-sun agrees, but before she can leave, Man-wol states that she won't stop her from taking revenge on the Yoon family. She says that not intervening won't help erase her hatred. The two go to the woman, who is begging for her son's help. Hee-sun hears her and remembers her own plea for help years ago. She can't bear to see the mother and son die, so she calls an ambulance. Cut to My-ra waiting for her boyfriend at the movie theater. Jae-won's ghost is sitting next to her, staring intently at her. Just then, Man-wol informs Chan Sung that My-ra is in danger, and they immediately head to the movie theater to find her. My-ra comes out and tells them about Chan Sung standing her up and how someone kept saying hello to her from behind. Man-wol, hearing this, realizes the ghost is present. Meanwhile, My-ra's boyfriend is searching for her in the theater. He can't find her and suddenly feels someone behind him. When he turns around, he's shocked to see Jae-won's ghost right in front of him. He pushes him down the stairs. They both hear a noise and rush to see what happened, finding Jae-won's ghost at the bottom. He mocks Chan Sung and challenges him to catch him. The lights suddenly come on, and Man-wol sees Yong-woo unconscious on the ground. She wants to help him. Just then, My-ra, worried, rushes over to help her boyfriend, hugging him tightly. Cut to a little boy waiting for a bus. When it arrives, he shows the driver a picture and wants to go to the Hotel Del Luna. Yoona and Hyun-jun are flirting at the reception desk, oblivious to the child entering the hotel. Manager Choi and Sun Bai see the child and go to help him. Hee-sun is shocked to see that the boy is alive, but his mother left yesterday. She doesn't know what to do, so she rushes to find Chan Sung for help. They arrive, but the boy is gone. They split up to search. Chan Sung asks the spirit there, who tells him that Hyung-min is at the train station. When he gets there, the train has already left. He doesn't hesitate to run into the tunnel. Hee-sun rushes to tell Man-wol that a child has entered the hotel but has disappeared. Everyone is searching for him. Man-wol goes outside. Suddenly, Sun Bai brings the boy in, saying he saw him at the station entrance. Hyung-min says he saw someone go inside that scary place. Hee-sun is alarmed and rushes to save Chan Sung. Chan Sung is disoriented in the tunnel, but then fireflies appear before him. Later, Man-wol, worried, runs to the tunnel and Chan Sung emerges. She sees him, eyes red with worry, and rushes to hug him. When he places his hand on the back of her head, she realizes that the person in front of her isn't Gu Chan Sung. At that moment, Manager Choi and Sun Bai rush over to ask how he is, but then he's back to his usual self. Man-wol is stunned, doesn't believe it, and leaves. Back at the hotel, Sun Bai gives Chan Sung an elixir from the old days because he's been to the gates of hell. He starts telling the story of what happened in the tunnel, but suddenly Man-wol appears, angry, and wants to speak to him in private. On the balcony, he explains that he went into the tunnel because he thought the boy was going to hell on the bus. Man-wol touches his heart to check on him, and her worries ease. Cut to Man-wol going to the 1,000-year-old tree. She sees Mago standing there and wants to leave. The old woman says she's sure Man-wol has met him, the one she's been waiting for. He's not far away, but in fact, he's always been by her side. Mago gives her a hairpin, her own hairpin. Man-wol is terrified, her whole body trembling. She asks the old woman if it's Chong Myung. The god says, "Is this the one you've been waiting for all this time? Are you so determined to kill him and move on once he enters this world?" Man-wol walks back to the hotel, lost in thought, and suddenly sees Chan Sung. She remembers the moments they shared. Her hairpin transforms into a sword. Man-wol, filled with hatred, charges towards him and stabs him in the chest. He's confused, but still puts his hand on her shoulder and tells her to trust him. He collapses, unconscious. Man-wol comes to her senses, relieved that what just happened was an illusion. Meanwhile, the god of death finds Chan Sung at the train station to talk to him. He says he found the spirit who wants to become a demon, and now Jai-won is hiding like a rat. He wants Chan Sung to help him because he's heard that he's good at being bait. Chan Sung asks the god of death if he's been at the hotel from the beginning and who the first guest was. The god doesn't know because he didn't see the first guest off. No one who's been here has ever seen the faint presence of the first guest. At the same time, Man-wol goes to the perpetrator's bar to find him. Knowing that Jai-won is hiding there, she sees the ghost, looking weak. Man-wol gives him the hairpin and tells Jai-won to eat it, and he'll become a demon. The god of death and Chan Sung arrive at the same place because he can only hide in the place he's been. They walk into the lobby, and Chan Sung is surprised to see her. He thinks she's caught the perpetrator. She coldly admits that she let him go. Now he's in danger because she gave Jai-won a special gift. The god of death warns her that if the spirit becomes a demon and something happens, Man-wol will disappear too. Chan Sung returns to the hotel looking for Man-wol, but the hotel is pitch black. He wonders what's happened. Manager Choi tells Chan Sung that Man-wol is in the garden and has forbidden anyone from entering. The three at the hotel are about to check on the guests in their rooms when the woman in black appears at the hotel, passing through them. Chan Sung rushes to the pharmacy and asks if the woman Man-wol hates is him. The woman says her sister didn't say that because that person is here. Chan Sung is surprised to learn that the person is the firefly in the jar. He remembers seeing it at the old hotel. She reveals that this was the first guest to arrive at the Hotel Del Luna, run by Jang Man-wol. She asks Chan Sung if he isn't going to stop her from killing her. He should go find the thing that Man-wol traded with the demon because once the demon acts, they'll be separated. Chan Sung immediately goes to the construction site where he meets Jai-won and asks him to return the hairpin, but Jai-won refuses. The vengeful spirit attacks him, but Chan Sung doesn't fight back. He's buying time. The hairpin will kill Jai-won when the moon rises. Hearing this, Jai-won is terrified and throws it away. Chan Sung picks it up. The perpetrator is furious that he's been tricked and tries to strangle Chan Sung. Suddenly, three figures appear from the distance, looking cool. They are the Hotel Del Luna employees, and they help Chan Sung bring the hairpin back to the hotel. The ghost, scared by the number of people, tries to escape, but when he turns around, the god of death grabs him by the neck. Cut to the garden where Man-wol is locked up. The woman in black appears and scolds her for disobeying her. Man-wol turned that spirit into a demon, and the woman in black can't forgive her. Man-wol is sad because she's about to leave when Chan Sung arrives, wanting to return the hairpin to her. He says there's no reason for her to stay now, so he asks the god to leave. Man-wol doesn't want to, she wants to die. Chan Sung agrees, but says he'll go with her. He gives the hairpin to her and asks her to kill him. He promises to stay by Man-wol's side, no matter what. He tells her that the person she's been waiting for has always been by her side, and that she needs to face him to answer the questions in her heart. The next day, receptionist Hyun-jun takes Chan Sung to see the tree, which has lost all its leaves. He knows that Man-wol is gone. Chan Sung enters the hotel and is given a pill by manager Choi, the one Man-wol instructed him to take. He looks at the pill, lost in thought, remembering Man-wol's beauty and their moments together. After a while, he puts the pill back and goes outside. Suddenly, Maego appears. She tells him to take a trip to the old hotel in the Joseon dynasty because there's a herb that grows in a sparkling place. She tells him to walk around the tree and he'll find the entrance to the old hotel. When he arrives in that era, he's not allowed to eat or drink anything, otherwise he won't be able to return. Chan Sung arrives in the Joseon dynasty and is amazed to see manager Choi and Kim, his senior, from that era. He walks around looking for Man-wol and sees beautiful flowers in front of him. He's about to go to them, but then the Man-wol of that era appears and asks why he's there, whether he's planning to steal something. He introduces himself as someone from a faraway place, so she wouldn't recognize him. Man-wol invites him to eat. While she's away, Chan Sung listens to manager Choi and Kim tell stories about her. They explain how she loves gambling and how she uses spirits to win. Man-wol arrives, dressed in elegant clothes, and sits across from Chan Sung. She scolds him, calling him a fraud. She says she was bored and only gambled to relieve her boredom. She was going to stop. She knows he's acquainted with a god and promises to stop gambling if he asks. Chan Sung immediately goes to see Maego and greets her. He admits it's Jang Man-wol's fault, but asks if she can forgive him and stop this. Maego finds him very strange, but doesn't grant his request. She proposes a challenge. They'll play Go, and if he wins, she'll consider it. The game is intense, but Chan Sung wins. That night, as he's collecting the medicinal flowers, Maego appears. She tells him that when he returns, his memories of this time will be erased. When he returns, will he be her ferryman or a stranger? He should think carefully. He returns to the present and gives Maego the medicine she requested. He knows she took him back to help him understand the feeling of waiting. She tells him to be happy, because Jang Man-wol has returned. He runs immediately to the train station to find her. When he sees her, he hugs her tightly. Behind them, 3 people run up, overjoyed to see director Jang back, and they hug them both. Cut to Yoona and Hyun-jung on a date, talking about his friend. The friend took Hyun-jung's name to do good deeds, so he's respected by many. He always took good care of his younger sister. Suddenly, they receive a message. Hyun-mai has stopped breathing. Thankfully, the doctor arrived in time to resuscitate her. She survives this crisis. Manager Choi and Sun Bai try to convince Man-wol that Hyun-jung needs to leave soon. It's been 70 years since they last saw each other, and they want her to let him talk to his sister. She refuses, saying that if he truly cared about his sister, he wouldn't have waited so long. Later, Yoona brings her old friend to the hotel to see Hyun-jung. He's shocked to see his friend come all this way to find him. Hyun-jung sees his friend and disappears. He's sitting in the garden, recalling how he risked his life to save his sister. He ignored the refugee route and chose the dangerous mountain path. He was trying to get water when he ran into a soldier who was escaping prison. It was his friend, Tae-seok. Tae-seok held a gun to him and forced him to change clothes and steal his stuff. Hyun-jung begged for his medicine, but Tae-seok refused. They struggled, and then Tae-seok shot him. That's why his old friend has been taking care of Hyun-jung's sister and feeling remorseful for his actions. After listening to Man-wol's advice, Hyun-jung agrees to meet Tae-seok. When they do, everything from the past disappears, and they no longer blame each other. That night, at the school Hyun-jung attended, the graduation ceremony takes place. He finally receives his diploma, fulfilling a dream he had while he was alive. At the Hotel del Luna, manager Choi can't find Sun Bai and asks the bartender, who says that Sun Bai went outside after talking to the ghost. Meanwhile, Kim CLK, the scholar, stands in front of the train station, recalling how he was a top scholar but lost his title because he was a perverted scholar. He knows the novel about him. Kim CLK's secret is about to be published and doesn't want to be humiliated, so he decides to cross the threshold to the afterlife. He suddenly remembers the promise he made to say goodbye before leaving and can't bear to go. Back at the hotel, manager Choi reports about Sun Bai's situation to Man-wol, who immediately calls the author of the novel about Kim CLK. The author had died before the publication, but the manuscript was sent to the publisher, and they're planning to release it according to schedule. Man-wol is furious and demands to know where the publisher is and how many people have read the manuscript. She learns that it was written by hand, with only one copy, so she decides to go there. Kim Clk arrives at the publisher, wanting to take back the manuscript, but he turns around and threatens everyone. No one believes him. He sadly returns and meets Man-wol and Chan Sung. The two of them decide to find a way to buy the manuscript. Back home, Chan Sung offers the scholar a place to stay because he's too ashamed to return to the hotel. Sun Bai recounts his past life, saying that he wrote his stories in his spare time. It's unbelievable for a scholar to do such things, but it was unacceptable. All the best things in his life are gone. Scholars petitioned to have his top scholar title revoked. He couldn't return home, and his father, back in the countryside, fell ill and died. He was too ashamed to face his wife or return to his hometown with his honor tarnished. That's how Kim Clk died. Back at the hotel, Man-wol and Chan Sung are discussing the best way to revise the manuscript with the author. Man-wol hands him a pen so he can write beautifully. The author is delighted to continue writing, but he faints as soon as he opens the pen. Manager Choi forgot to mention that he'll faint every 30 seconds when he holds a pen. Chan Sung remembers another author who wanted to write but couldn't before he died. He and Manager Choi go to Sung Hoon and ask him to finish the novel. Everyone is happy that things go smoothly. Thanks to their hard work, the novel is officially published. Kim Clk makes a cocktail to express his gratitude. These are also tears of farewell, full of regret, because Kim Clk, the Joseon scholar, has cleared his name of the shame. Now Sun Bai will go to the other world. The next day, Kim Clk is wearing an elegant white suit and everyone goes to the train station to see him off. Back at the Hotel Del Luna, Kim Sun Bai is gone, and the employees have all taken leave. Manager Choi is the only one left. Suddenly, Hyun Jung, wearing a uniform, is ready to pick up his sister. Tae-seok contacted him. At the hospital, Yoon-ah goes to pick up Hyun Mai and bursts into tears. Knowing that she won't be able to see Hyun Jung again today, he takes his sister to the hotel to say goodbye to everyone before leaving. Hyun Jung is about to enter the afterlife when he hears Yoon-ah's voice. She's there to see him off. They both feel reluctant to part. Finally, it's Manager Choi's turn to leave. Man-wol and Chan Sung go to the station to see her off. Manager Choi recalls her early days at the Moonlit Inn. She thought she'd be thrown into a fire pit, but to her surprise, she's allowed to leave with dignity. Returning to the desolate hotel, they reminisce about everything they've done. Chan Sung is helped by Maego to go with her to watch the snowfall. What's meant to be will be. They're both standing at the train station, and there's no god of death here, so Man-wol has to go alone. They say their tearful goodbyes, reluctant to part, and promise to meet again in another life. With a heavy heart, she lets go of him and enters. Chan Sung stands outside, unable to hold back tears as he watches her leave.